couple teenagers who trade pizza delivery for marijuana smuggling, and they ended up building a $60 million illegal business.
This couldn't be the Nate that I knew. I mean, he was a nerd, but sure enough, there he is, facing trial.
Clark and a friend started smuggling millions of dollars worth of pot from Canada into North Idaho.
And then all of a sudden, the world just changes and you've got millions of dollars and everyone wants to be your friend because they're attracted to the money and the power. It's like a crime teen dramedy thriller.
A teenager running a $38 million criminal empire sounds insane, but for Nate Norman, it was real life. Even crazier, most of his crew were also teenagers. And together they built one of the biggest smuggling operations in America. And through it all, these kids had one rule: don't let mom and dad find out. This is the crazy story of how a high school kid created a $38 billion drug empire. I'm Visual Venture, and you are awesome. The last person you would expect. Nate Norman was the last person anyone would ever call a criminal mastermind, and there were three big reasons why. First, his age. Nate was only 19, still a teenager. Second, he had a reputation for being a really good kid, the kind of person that would go out of his way to help somebody. There was even a story about how Nate helped an old lady who lived across the street. Her driveway would get blocked every time the snowplow would go by, and Nate would always run over and shovel her driveway. But anytime the old lady offered him money, he turned it down. That's just who he was. The third reason Nate seemed harmless was where he grew up. Nate lived in a quiet lakeside city in Idaho. It looked like something off a postcard. It had spectacular mountains, clear lakes, and clean air. Life there was calm. Nothing about it screamed danger. In summary, Nate was a sweet, small-town kid with zero criminal tendencies. At least, that's how it seemed. But there was one thing about Nate that changed everything. One flaw that set him on the path to becoming a drug kingpin. He reportedly had a puppy dog need for approval, and that desperate need would send him down a dark path. Nate was never one of the popular kids. Friends described him as a fat, funny kid. He was one of those guys everybody used to pick on, and for Nate that stung. He wasn't book smart either. Nate struggled in class, and he eventually dropped out of high school. While his classmates planned for college, Nate got a job delivering pizza. But like most teenagers, Nate wanted to be cool. He wanted to be noticed and admired. Soon he figured out how. He realized that there was one thing that could make anyone a little more popular: weed. And for demonetization's sake, we're going to be referring to marijuana as grass. A lot of teens in his town smoked even though it was illegal. Grass was always in demand, but it was hard to get. So anyone who had it instantly became more popular. Soon, Nate made sure he always had some to give away. According to one report, having grass gave Nate a quick way to earn the love, or at least tolerance, of his peers. And for a kid like Nate, that meant everything. But then Nate stumbled onto something bigger, something that could give him more than just popularity. It could give him money, power, and status. It was 2001. Back then, Nate spent his days delivering pizza and hanging out with his friends. One day, while with his friend Topher Clark, they came across a magazine. The cover story was about the booming marijuana industry in Canada. After reading the article, Nate summarized it this way: if you want good grass, go to the Canadian border with a backpack. Across the border, massive farms were producing some of the highest grade grass in the world. It was called BC Bud. In Canada, a pound of BC Bud cost about $1,400. But back in Idaho, that same pound sold for more than double the price. Nate and Topher immediately saw the opportunity. Buy cheap in Canada, bring it back across the border, sell it high in Idaho, repeat. The numbers were appealing. Law enforcement estimated the sale of BC Bud is a $7 billion a year industry. That meant there was so much money to be made. Nate checked a map. The Canadian border was so close, just a few hours away from their town. But there was just one problem. How could they smuggle pot across the border without getting caught? The border between the United States and Canada is the longest international border in the world. There are official checkpoints where officers inspect every person and every vehicle. They check passports, search cars, and stop anything illegal from getting through. Getting caught smuggling meant years in prison. But people still did it. Experienced smugglers hid pot in buses, mobile homes, and even horse trailers. They packed it so well that officers missed it during inspections. Some smugglers even went further. One dug a 360-foot underground tunnel to move pot across the border. Others used kayaks to slip through waterways. Some even flew small planes over the border. But these kids, Nate and Topher, didn't have those resources. Their only option was to hike through the woods. In certain areas, the border cuts through forests, lakes, and mountains, making it impossible to monitor every inch. Nate and Topher figured they could hike the 7-mile border crossing through the forest on foot. It was risky, the terrain was rough, the wilderness was unpredictable, there were wild animals in the woods, but they were willing to risk everything, even their lives, to make it happen. The crossing. Nate and Topher scraped together every dollar they could find. Between odd jobs, borrowed cash, and savings, they pulled together $1,500. They drove up to Creston, a small farming town near the Canadian border. Then they headed to a local bar searching for a dealer. Within hours, they found one. The boys paid $1,400 for a pound of BC bud. Then they stuffed it into a backpack and left. That was easy. The hard part was getting it across the border without getting caught. Their plan was straightforward. Nate would drive back across the border acting like a normal traveler. Meanwhile, Topher would hike 7 miles through the woods carrying the product in his backpack. It sounded simple, but it wasn't. There were grizzly bears and mountain lions in those woods, and a wrong turn could get you lost for days. If Topher didn't make it back before nightfall, you could freeze, get lost, or run straight into predators. Still, they went through with it. The journey began. Hour after hour, Topher pushed forward through the woods. Finally, he made it to the other side safely. Nate was waiting to meet him. The first run proved the impossible was possible. It was terrifying, risky, and dumb, but it worked. And now they wanted to do it again. Back home, Nate and Topher sold the entire pound in a couple of hours. They doubled their money. The speed of that first sale made one thing clear. Demand was high. And now Nate and Topher had the supply, so they went back. This time they bought 2 pounds. It sold out instantly. Within weeks, Nate and Topher were making regular runs, a few pounds at a time. Each crossing was equally dangerous, but every success made them bolder. At first, they sold only to friends and acquaintances. Even on that small scale, they doubled, sometimes tripled their profits. Soon, they were making 20 or 30 grand a week. For a 19-year-old high school dropout or anyone at all, it was life-changing money, but it wasn't enough. Nate had a target. His plan was to make $3 million and get out. But success has a way of changing plans. Making all that money gave Nate something he never had before. Soon, he didn't want to stop at $3 million. He wanted to build an empire. Nate and Topher realized they couldn't keep doing everything themselves, so Nate turned to the only people he trusted, friends and old classmates. Within months, Nate had a crew. None of them were hardened criminals. Most never broke the law before. But they all wanted easy money. When their operation was at its height, it included at least 32 people. Topher was in charge of the new recruits. He led them on the 7-mile hikes through the woods. But now that they had money, they upgraded. They bought new boots to make the trek easier, night vision goggles to see in the dark, camouflage gear to blend into the forest, first aid kits, bear spray. They even bought a spray that was supposed to make them invisible to heat sensors. The system was simple. The crew crossed the border 6 at a time, carrying bags filled with cash. Sometimes they carried as much as $400,000 in a single trip. In Canada, they would exchange the money for product. Then they would hike back through the woods with backpacks full of pot. Cash went one way, product came back. But it never stopped being dangerous. One time, the crew got lost in the woods and nearly froze to death. Luckily, no one got seriously hurt, so they kept going. They even started enjoying the trips. Nate sometimes joined them. He later said the adrenaline rush of walking in the woods at night. The thrill is addicting. Soon, Nate was supplying entire dealer networks across Idaho. The crew was flush with cash. Then they hit a new problem. Although they were making millions, they couldn't spend it freely. Almost everyone involved was in their teens and early 20s. Most still were living with their moms. They didn't want their parents finding out what they were doing. Flashing sudden wealth would raise suspicion. Cops could even start asking questions. After risking their lives and freedom, the kids were rich but trapped. That's when Nate's puppy dog need for approval kicked in again. Nate didn't just want the money. He wanted respect. And now that he was rich, he thought he could buy it. So Nate started spending. His friends followed suit. And from there, things got out of control fast. Young, wild, and rich. When they started spending, Nate and his friends didn't hold back. They bought four-wheelers, jet skis, and gold jewelry. They also threw massive parties that every kid in town heard about. But their biggest splurge and the hardest thing to hide was on enormous lakefront homes. Some of them bought, others rented, but these weren't ordinary houses. They were mansions. Nate's place had 8 bedrooms and an indoor swimming pool. Overnight, Nate and his crew became the coolest kids in town. Maybe Nate was enjoying his newfound popularity too much, because soon he came up with a ridiculous idea. He wanted to look like a kingpin. People said Nate started acting like Tony Montana from the movie Scarface. Scarface is one of the most iconic films ever made. It follows a Cuban immigrant, Tony Montana, who builds a massive criminal empire in Miami. Tony Montana became the blueprint for wannabe drug lords everywhere. He wore flashy suits and gold chains. He carried firearms constantly. He spoke with a distinct accent. Nate was reportedly inspired by that. So Nate started talking with an accent, copying Montana's swagger. People said he became cocky and disrespectful. Nate also bought several firearms, including an automatic one. He even started dating a stripper 7 years older than him. Topher, Nate's partner from the very beginning, watched the transformation unfold. Topher described it this way. Nate went from having this humble personality to thinking he was this badass smuggler no one could touch. He would drive around town with his 24-inch rims and diamond chains, listening to hardcore rap. Just this perfect drug dealer image. And people were starting to fear him because he had power and money. Nate wasn't the same person anymore. And Nate wasn't just playing a part. He started using substances, particularly white powder. It wasn't surprising because Tony Montana from Scarface did the same. But the substances made Nate paranoid. And now that he had weapons, it also made him dangerous. There's one story that shows just how dangerous. One night, Nate and his crew threw a huge party. Over 100 people packed the house. Everyone was drinking, dancing, and having fun. Then a fight broke out over a girl. The place erupted. People were yelling, shoving, and screaming. In the chaos, Nate grabbed one of his biggest weapons and shot it off in the house. Someone who was there said it sounded like a bomb went off. Everyone ran out of the party screaming. That was the new Nate. Nate the Kingpin. Meanwhile, Topher was becoming anxious. He wanted to quit the business. After all, he already made enough to live comfortably. But when he told Nate he wanted out, Nate refused. Remember, Topher was the one who trained the runners. He was the one keeping the product moving safely through the woods. Nate couldn't afford to lose him, so he offered Topher more money to stay. Topher reluctantly agreed. But deep down, Topher knew something bad was coming. He told himself, this is going to have a horrible ending. He had no idea how right he was. Nate and his crew thought the cops were their biggest problem. They were wrong. Other smuggling crews were watching them closely. To them, Nate and his boys weren't just kids. They were competition. And in this business, competition was deadly. Ruthless rivals. Just a few miles away, another young smuggler was making moves. His name was Brendan Butler. Brendan was only 20, close to Nate's age, and he ran his own grass operation in the same area as Nate. One article described Brendan as Nate's most serious rival. Brendan was very different than Nate. Nate was a high school dropout, but Brendan graduated with honors from a private prep school. Nate wasn't book smart, but Brendan excelled in school. Nate grew up in a working class family, but Brendan's parents were wealthy. Despite their differences, they had one thing in common. They both wanted to look tough. We've already seen how Nate modeled himself after Tony Montana. Brendan also created his own gangster persona. He drove around town with a low-riding 93 Eldorado with tinted windows and tricked-out rims. He used substances and acted the part. At first, the two stayed out of each other's way. Nate had his buyers, Brendan had his. But as Nate's business grew, their worlds collided. They were chasing the same customers, fighting for the same suppliers, and moving into each other's territories. Arguments turned into confrontations. Confrontations turned into threats. But Brendan wasn't making idle threats. It became personal for him. He began to hate Nate. Soon, Brendan Butler decided to do the unthinkable. He wanted to end Nate for good. By early 2002, Brendan started looking for a hitman. He found a man named Giovanni, also known as Gio. Gio wasn't a professional killer. He was a graphic artist who did hits as a side hustle. Gio recruited two friends to help him with the job. Brendan's orders were clear. He wanted them to rob Nate and then end him. Brendan believed that taking Nate out would collapse the entire operation. The hitmen agreed to do the job for $100,000. Brendan gave them $5,000 up front. But what Brendan did next showed how much of a wannabe gangster he was. He went shopping with the hitman. Brendan joined Gio and his crew on a trip to Kmart. They bought black shoes, pants and gloves, and windbreakers, as well as tarps for disposing of the bodies. Brendan thought he was running the show. He even gave the crew tools for the job. But his plan was about to fall apart. It would become one of the worst fumbles in assassination history. In June 2002, the hitmen made their move. That same night, Brendan hosted a big alibi party so he couldn't be implicated. It could be used as evidence that he was somewhere else when the incident took place. Miles away, the hitmen broke into the home of one of Nate's close allies, a guy called Scuzz. They robbed Scuzz and then let him go. Afterward, they went straight to Brendan and split the stolen cash. It was a catastrophic mistake. By robbing Nate's ally, they tipped off Nate's entire crew. Everyone now knew someone was coming after them, and that's exactly what happened. When Nate heard about the robbery, he became paranoid. He didn't know who was behind it, but his operation went on high alert. Getting close to him became nearly impossible, and that's when everything flipped. Brendan started fighting with his own hitmen. Brendan still owed Gio $95,000 of the $100,000 for the hit, but he refused to pay until the job was done. But now Nate's crew was on edge, so getting to him was almost impossible. The job couldn't be done. Brendan kept feeding the hitmen information about Nate and his crew, but much of it turned out to be wrong information. Every failed attempt made them angrier. The tension built for months. Brendan and the hitmen argued constantly. By October 2002, everything boiled over. Brendan arranged to meet the hitmen in a remote campsite. He brought them there to show the men a remote location to dispose of the bodies. But at the meeting, they argued about money. According to police reports, Brendan's wannabe gangster persona apparently rubbed the group of actual gangsters the wrong way. Gio snapped. He got physical with Brendan and ended him on the spot. In a cruel twist of fate, Brendan Butler, Nate's biggest rival, was taken out by the very hitmen he hired to attack Nate. They dragged his body into the woods and left him beneath the trees. For almost a month, no one knew what happened to Brendan. His wealthy parents launched an all-out search. Then a woodcutter stumbled across his remains deep in the woods. The discovery shocked the entire town. Police launched a homicide investigation. They combed through Brendan's phone records and messages. That's when they found the hitman's number. Gio was now a suspect. Police arrested Gio and his crew in March 2003, about 5 months after the crime. The hitmen confessed. They told investigators everything: Brendan's pot operation, his rivalry with Nate, and the failed assassination plot. All the secrets were out. Police already noticed the surge of Canadian grass flowing into Idaho. Now there was a body on the ground. This wasn't a small town smuggling anymore. It was organized crime. And with Brendan gone, Nate was now the undisputed kingpin. If police could bring him down, they could choke off the entire supply chain. From that moment, Nate had a massive target on his back. Pressure from all sides. In mid-2003, Nate's empire looked unstoppable on paper, but in reality, it was falling apart. After Brendan's demise, law enforcement turned up the heat. Police began running surveillance on Nate's crew. Even the FBI got involved. The cops wanted Nate. All they needed was proof. Agents followed cars. Phones were tapped. Stash houses were mapped. Nate and his guys were shaken, not just because of the police, but mainly because of how Brendan lost his life. For the first time, Nate understood just how deep he was in. They realized this wasn't just kids smuggling grass anymore. They were in a world of hitmen, revenge, and violent rivals. And now the cops were watching everything. Most of Nate's network was made up of young teenagers. They weren't built for this kind of pressure. By April 2003, Nate and his crew made a decision: get out while they still could. They had millions of dollars stashed away. If they moved fast, they could disappear. One of the boys rented a U-Haul and drove it to the mansion to start packing. What they didn't realize was the cops were surveilling almost every house tied to Nate's crew. When they spotted the U-Haul, they knew what was happening. The kids were about to run. They couldn't let that happen. Police raided the house. They seized weapons, cash, grass, and computers. Everyone there was arrested, but Nate and Topher weren't there. Under interrogation, the crew broke instantly. Everyone told on everyone. Some even became informants, and thanks to the information they gave up, investigators built a much bigger case. By November 2003, police struck again. In one sweep, they made 14 arrests, including Scuzz, Topher, and others. They even arrested Nate's stripper girlfriend, Buffy, but one name was still missing: Nate Norman. With most of his crew behind bars, Nate disappeared. He was on the run for several months, but he couldn't run forever. Eventually, Nate turned himself in. When police finally met Nate face to face, they were stunned. A reporter described the reaction. They were like, "This is the guy who orchestrated a multi-million-dollar operation, and he looks like and has the job skills of a pizza delivery boy," but it wasn't truly over. Not yet. Nate surrendering didn't mean giving up. He hired expensive lawyers to fight the case. The multi-million-dollar kid kingpin was about to go head-to-head with federal prosecutors. The big question was, could Nate actually get out of this? Kingpin in court. Nate was 21 when he went to court in 2004. The prosecution came down hard. Nate wasn't treated like a kid who made bad choices. He was portrayed as the kingpin of a drug empire. If Nate lost the case, he was facing 10 to 12 years behind bars. Prosecutors accused Nate's crew of smuggling $38 million worth of grass. The evidence was overwhelming. Bank records, pounds of seized product, and recorded conversations with the crew. But it got worse. Multiple members of Nate's own crew testified against him in exchange for lighter sentences. With the case stacked against him, Nate had no way out. He took a deal pleading guilty to 5 of the 59 counts against him. Even with the deal, he knew he was trading his freedom for years behind bars. The judge sentenced him to 12 years in prison. He would not be eligible for parole until he served at least 10 years. Nate filed an appeal to get a reduced sentence. It was rejected. Most of Nate's crew got much lighter sentences. Scuzz and Topher each received 30 months. The rest got between 30 and 46 months. Gio, the hitman who ended Brendan Butler, also pleaded guilty. He was handed a life sentence with a possibility of parole in 8 years. It was a sad end to a crazy story. But Nate's fame didn't disappear behind bars. If anything, his story got bigger. While serving his sentence, Nate Norman became popular online. People were fascinated by how a small-town pizza delivery boy built a multi-million-dollar smuggling empire. They made documentaries, blogs, and podcasts dissecting his rise and fall. That fascination eventually reached Hollywood. In 2014, filmmakers released a movie based on Nate's story. It was titled Kid Cannabis. It turned Nate into a cultural icon. By then, Nate was free to watch it himself, because in December 2013, Nate was released. This photo was taken by his parents when he came out of prison. Today, Nate owns a heating, ventilation, and air conditioning business and has a family. But the story didn't end well for Topher, Nate's partner, the guy who helped them since the very first run. In 2019, Topher got into a fight at a bar. Things got physical. The other man pulled out a weapon. Topher lost his life.
Everyone is just shocked by Clark's death. He was well known, especially in North Idaho.
Nate Norman thought money would make people love him. And it worked for a while. But when you're only loved for what you have, you'll be alone when you lose it. Visual venture. If you thought creating a $38 million empire was crazy, there's a Boy Scout who turned into a $1.2 billion drug lord by creating the Amazon of drugs. Click right here to watch it. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. You know, these types of videos are always my favorite videos to make for you guys. So if you want more of them, make sure you guys subscribe right here, and also let me know in the comments what you guys think about like these style of videos. Love you guys. Thank you very much. Peace.
Turn the mic off. Grr. Say hello.
Why are you hitting on a 14-year-old girl?
Child still does not have the mental capacity to go through with safely.
Okay, so that very last part I disagree with.
So this Discord iceberg is gonna be like no other. I cut all the surface level fluff and we go straight into 10 insane topics, and each topic just gets more horrifying. So join us as we explore the dark world of Discord. Incel Ethereon. Discord has millions of public servers, approximately 6.7 million that you can join right now. But for every great server you find with amazing people on it, there are bad servers, and people on them are just terrible. This is Ethereon. He's an artist who specializes in drawing female characters from anime, mostly in suggestive positions. On the surface, he's most active on Twitter and Newgrounds, which is a website made for people like artists and animators to share their work. But when you dig a little deeper, he's even even more active on Discord. In August of 2021, a YouTuber by the name of Daft Pina posted a video exposing Ethereon and his actions. He started investigating Ethereon when he noticed just how alarming his tweets were.
I should say some slurs just to get it out of the way. I'm like Invader Zim, but if he only spoke in hateful slurs.
Looking more into the situation, Daft Pina was contacted by a former follower of Ethereon. This anonymous contact shared various screenshots of Ethereon saying absolutely disgusting things on Discord. You mean blank? That effing blank is drawing from experience like I would have. And it gets worse because as Daft Pina investigated further, he realized what Ethereon truly was, an incel. But before we get into Ethereon's incel behavior, I have an important announcement to make. So I've always wanted these guys to sponsor me, and I am finally here. This video is sponsored by, are you ready? Raid Shadow Legends. You get home from school, set your backpack down, and take a break before starting your homework. What do? A, put your feet on the couch and watch TV. B, grab some ice water because it's blazing hot recently. C, hop on Roblox. None of the above. The answer is D, Raid Shadow Legends. You know when you reach the end of some games, there's not much to look forward to. But endgame in Raid Shadow Legends can be summed up in 3 words, the Doom Tower. It's basically a huge prison filled with bad guys, but the tower's defenses are failing and it's your job to knock the bad guys down before they escape. But the problem is, the bosses are really tough and you need specific mechanics to beat them. So get this, Raid just released a huge new feature, Awakening, and a new dungeon, the Iron Twins Fortress. Awakening your champion lets you choose a powerful blessing that can practically transform the way they perform in battle. Raid also released a new champion, the Ultimate Death Knight. And if you just log into the game and play it for 7 days from now until October 27th, the Ultimate Death Knight is yours. Whether you're a new player or existing player, make sure you use the promo code DKRISES to get free items to instantly level up your new champion to level 50. Click the link in the description or scan my QR code and you'll get bonuses worth $30, including the epic champion Aina, 200,000 silver, 1 energy refill, 1 XP boost, and 1 ancient shard. And all this treasure will be waiting for you right here. And for new players, this will only be available for the next 30 days, so make sure you click the link in the description and I will see you guys there. An incel is a member of an online community of young men who consider themselves unable to attract women. They usually hate women because women don't find them attractive. They turn their heartbreak into hatred and only make friends with people who share their views, which only makes them even more hateful. Ethereon is no exception to this. Girls are skittish. You have to approach them passively, you have to know where to find them, you have to dress the part, you might miss your shot, you might get killed by one. Is it racist to say I think most girls act like skittish farm animals? The way he talks about girls makes it seem like they're creatures from another planet. And his Discord is full of people like him. His server has attracted people who have the same twisted mindset, the same anger and hatred. And while it's easy to shame and hate these people, I honestly pity them. I mean, I don't know what happened to these people to twist their minds as much as they have. But what I do know is that behind that angry shell is a deep, deep sadness that may never be healed. Discord's furry team. Furries have been on Discord since the very beginning, and there's no denying that. There are countless servers dedicated to the furry community, and whatever your opinion you have about them, they're here to stay. And in recent years, people have noticed that a lot of Discord staff are furries themselves. And with that comes serious bias. In January of 2019, Discord users were outraged when a staff member made the statement, "We do not consider cub content to be in violation of our community guidelines. In case you didn't know, cub content is the furry equivalent to CP." This disgusting comment outraged users and furries alike.
When I saw it, I was like, what the frick is going on with this?
Just seeing an image was like, what the hell is this type of crap?
The person behind that is just not thinking right.
It took Discord a month to address the controversy, and in February of 2019, Discord finally banned all cub content on the platform. But the problems don't end there. If you disagree with the furry fandom, Discord will find any excuse to ban you. On the subreddit r/internet drama, there's a thread that complains about a Discord admin named All the Foxes. The person who posted the thread talked about how All the Foxes was banning people falsely. For example, someone was banned for being under 13 13, but it was false. They were over 13. So why did this happen? Because all the foxes had a hidden agenda. It turns out this Discord admin was banning all servers that didn't allow furry content. A person who commented on the post said this: "I was an admin for an anti-furry Discord. A furry reported us with no grounds to stand on because we didn't break terms of service. This all the foxes happens to be a furry and banned everyone in the server, including the furry that reported us, because he stayed in the server, because we reached an agreement." So I have a first-hand account of someone that this actually happened to. My friend Ruben Sim was setting up his Discord server for his channel.
My Discord server is mostly Roblox users, and as you probably know, most Roblox users are underage, and so me and my friends that moderate the server, we decided that we shouldn't allow any type of NSFW content anywhere in any channel. Time and time again, we've had people violate that rule, and they've almost always been furries, and so we noticed this pattern, and we decided that we needed to do something about it.
Ruben and his team ended up banning all furries in his Discord.
And then we instated a rule saying no furries allowed. I have friends that are furries, and even they understood, yeah, we know this community has a problem and we understand if you don't want furries in your server. The people at Discord didn't seem to think that way.
Discord staff didn't like the fact that furries were not allowed, so Ruben's Discord server started getting banned.
It started out as warnings. We would get emails or messages from Discord saying things like, "You moderate a server that participates in harassment."
He didn't know the reasons for these bans, but it became clear.
Over time, we kind of figured it's because people are identifying furries and telling them to leave.
Ruben talked to me about how on Roblox, if you say anything negative about furries, you'll get banned for hate speech.
And a lot of people have been banned just for saying things like, "I don't really like furries," or "furry bad." And I kind of feel like Discord is the same way, where they see furries as some sort of class that you're not allowed to discriminate against.
This shows that a decent amount of Discord staff members have a bias toward furries, and in order to have a good moderation team, they must be fair. But unfortunately, they're far from it. Discord knows everything about you. When we're on the internet, our privacy is super important. Whether you're sending personal documents or just messaging friends, you need to make sure that everything you do is safe. So, is Discord secure? If the power of these Discord staff members doesn't scare you, the information they have will. The truth is, Discord knows everything. Every word you type, message you send, picture you upload, all of it is stored in Discord's database. Even if you delete messages, Discord keeps them anyway. If you delete your account, Discord just removes your profile picture and changes your username to deleted user. All your messages are stored by Discord and your information is no longer yours. So you have to be 13 or older to use Discord. There was a group of teens who were banned for being under 13, but it was false. They were all over 13. The reason Discord banned them is because Discord read the messages of them joking around saying they were 12. They appealed the ban and Discord asked for pictures of identification. So they sent the evidence and guess what? They were still permanently banned. So why would Discord ask for such a personal document then run away? Well, there might be a possibility that it could be used as data. Discord's development team has a history of abusing user data rights. Before creating Discord, its founder Jason Citron founded a platform called OpenFame, which was sued for collecting unnecessary amounts of data and selling it for profit. So who's to say they aren't going to do it again? The Discord hackers. The internet is filled with viruses. We've all been told 1,000 times by our teachers to be careful what you click on. But hackers are always finding new ways to hide themselves and continue to prey on people. And now they're on Discord. Discord is becoming a favorite tool among cyber criminals because Discord's system helps them do it. Let's say you upload a file onto Discord. You right-click on it, hit copy link, and then take it to a browser and paste the link. If you look at the URL, it uses Discord's domain name in the beginning of it. A good amount of people would trust this link solely because it looks like it's coming directly from Discord. But the problem is, Discord isn't monitoring these links. Hackers take advantage of this by disguising these links as cracked versions of games, but it could really be a virus. And in the last 2 years, there have been reports that hackers are using Discord to control your computer remotely. They can send malicious commands through Discord to malware to be executed on your computer. This can lead them to getting your personal information and even hold your files for ransom. And you may be thinking, well, as long as I don't download anything, I'm fine, right? Well, not exactly. Sometimes these links can send you to a Discord login page. When you've entered your account info and hit enter, the page will close and then the real Discord login page will appear. So what did you just log into? Nothing. Your credentials were sent to the hacker who now has access to your Discord account. So never accept links from people you don't know on Discord, because hackers will always be on the platform, but we can do our best to stay safe. Discord's doxing problem. Doxing is when someone makes your private information public, such as your home address or personal phone number, with malicious intent. This happens all the time, from blackmailing people for money to swatting streamers' houses.
You're getting swatted? What in the world?
Put your hands up! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground now! Get on the ground!
And Discord has a huge doxing problem. In 2017, a Discord server was discovered that was dedicated to doxing people that disagreed with their political views. Much like a Therion server, the server was filled with incredibly hateful people who targeted minority groups. What's crazy is that the members even taught other members how to dox.
They had an entire pastebin document dedicated to people's information, and it even included a tutorial on how to dox people. As you can see, White Pages is their golden goose.
Okay, try searching yourself up on Google. Chances are you'll be shocked at the amount of personal information that's public. On Discord, the majority of users are teens who are vulnerable. Just listen to my friend Tuv's experience with being doxxed.
One night, randomly on Discord, this dude pings me on my server that I used to own and tells me to add him as a friend, and he just sends me my own address, full name, high school I went to, and my mother's full name. I was shocked. I couldn't move. I freaked out once I saw that text in the chat, and I honestly thought my life was over.
So I was doxxed too, and it's honestly a horrible feeling. It's like as if everything that I've worked for is just all gone. I don't wish it upon anyone. Van's Kingdom. Discord has a problem with Preds. The problem is so bad that the most popular YouTube videos about Discord are of people catching Preds.
You turn the mic off. Grr. Say hello.
Why are you hitting on a 14-year-old girl?
And sometimes these Preds don't work alone. What if I told you that there was once a paradise for Preds on Discord? A place for them to find victims and almost instantly fulfill their selfish fantasies. Let me tell you about Van's Kingdom. In June of this year, a YouTuber by the name of Jessica posted a video exposing a Discord server. The server was based on the owner's fantasy that he was a king who owned the girls in his kingdom.
What is this? A kingdom of a group of girls who all serve one king. I am a guy, and I'm looking for females to know.
The server had not safe for work chats and channels for sharing inappropriate pictures. Once you've joined the server, you have to be verified before you can interact with it. To do this, you have to send a picture of yourself to Van with a piece of paper that says #VanOwn. Van also states that while you don't have to show your face, you have to show enough to prove you're a female. If this isn't creepy enough, you only have to be 11 to join. What's even worse is that you have to introduce yourself with a template that Van created that makes you list inappropriate things about yourself. As Jessica scrolled through, she found many girls on the server were very young, and Van knew this. Pretending to be 14, Jessica found herself talking to Van directly. And despite him knowing her age, he demanded pictures of her in exchange for access to private channels. And one of these hidden channels was created for users to post selfies for Van. But only a few of the people in this channel were over the legal age. And this wasn't even a small server, it had over 200 members. I honestly don't know why anyone would want to join this server because it had no other purpose than to serve the king of this kingdom. Thankfully, 2 months ago, Van's Kingdom was taken down and removed from Discord. No one knows what happened to Van, but let's be thankful the server is gone. Nora's Cult. This is Elizabeth Bathory, the Blood Countess. During the 1600s, she was a leader of a cult that ended the lives of 600 women just for fun. She lured young girls to her castle with the promise of education, but what they really got was horrible. So what does this have to do with Discord? Well, what if I told you that there were people like this on Discord? Cults with dark intentions waiting to lure people in. Toby is a YouTuber who makes stunning artwork and storytime videos. But in April of 2020, Toby uploaded a video that was different from her normal content. It was a story of how she fell into a Discord cult. In 2018, Toby joined a Discord server run by someone named Nora. For a while, she enjoyed being on it, but something seemed off. Toby discovered that the server would have meetups a few times a year.
And what would end up happening is they would get an Airbnb and people would all pitch in to get the Airbnb and food, and they would all go stay there for a couple of days.
These meetups seemed innocent and fun on the surface, but when Toby asked if she could come to one, Nora made it clear that she couldn't join. So the question is why? There were two girls from the Discord that went to the meetup, but after the meetup ended, those two girls left the server. No goodbyes, no reason, no nothing. A week later, Toby posted a selfie of herself on the Discord. And after this selfie was posted, Nora spoke to Toby and asked her to go to the next meetup.
And the only reason why she asked me is because I had posted a picture and she thought that I was attractive enough to go.
Toby declined, and good thing she did, because when she realized what really happened on those trips, it turned her stomach. During these Airbnb meetups, girls who went would be pressured into drinking large amounts of alcohol and sometimes even taking other substances. And when they were completely helpless, Nora would watch as her friends took advantage of them. She would count the money these girls had given her for the trip and enjoy watching things play out too, just as Elizabeth Bathory did over 400 years ago. And after finding out about this, Toby fought to take the server down and stop Nora's operation, and she succeeded. Nora vanished and the server was shut down. Just imagine how many more servers there are just like this one that haven't been brought to light. The end of an e-girl.
In July 2019, the social media platform Discord was buzzing about a photo that appeared to show a dead young woman.
I'm sure you heard this story before, but it doesn't make it any less tragic. In 2019, Bianca Devins, a 17-year-old high school graduate, met a boy named Andrew Clark online. He seemed like an average guy and they both wanted to get to know each other, but it turns out he's an incel. Bianca and Andrew decided to go to a concert together, but during the concert, Andrew saw Bianca kissing another man. Andrew couldn't handle seeing that, so after the concert, he ended Bianca's life. What makes this worse is that he posted videos and pictures of the attack on Discord.
I just kept screaming, it's not her. It's not her. It's not my baby.
These pictures continue to haunt Bianca's family and friends to this day. But it wasn't just pictures that were on Discord. Her last words were too. According to an article by Rolling Stones magazine, Bianca messaged a friend on Discord while she was with Andrew. The message was about how angry Andrew was after Bianca held hands with and kissed another man. That message was sent at 5:47 a.m. and not even 1 hour after the incident, Andrew would post pictures of Bianca lifeless on Discord with the caption, "Sorry, looks like you're gonna have to find someone else to orbit." Bianca had so much to look forward to. She was a talented artist and was about to start studying psychology in college. I just wish her friends and family well, and I hope she can rest in peace. CP. This is one of the worst problems Discord has. These disgusting images are even being traded on Discord. We've seen it happen in Van's Kingdom, but the problem is so much bigger than just that. These people are all over Discord just waiting to find you. Earlier this year, two friends were playing Modern Warfare 2, a game that was released way back in 2009, so finding people to play with was hard. The two friends turned to Discord and found a server of people who still played the game. Eventually, they found people to play with, but the fun didn't last long. The two friends realized that the people they were playing with were using cheats, so they called these people out. And of course, they argued. It pretty much went as you would expect. The cheaters hurled insults at the two friends, but what they did next was horrifying. The cheaters sent a video that showed a young boy doing things that no child should ever do. This wasn't in a private group chat. This was a public server with other people in it, but these guys didn't care. This shows just how easy it is for sick people like them to find and share disgusting photos on Discord. So since this story was posted, the server was taken down. But there are hundreds of servers just like them that we just don't know about. Hypnotist Sappho. Furry fandom is a subculture interested in animal characters with human attributes, and the war between furries and anti-furries is real. There are so many videos of people raiding furry Discord servers and countless arguments tweeted between furries and anti-furries, but there was someone so twisted that both sides united to fight against her. This is a story of hypnotist Sappho, a self-proclaimed hypnotherapist. A hypnotherapist is a trained professional that uses hypnosis to reprogram your thinking. Sappho was also a content creator who posted VR chat roleplays. These roleplays would show her performing hypnotism on other furries. These videos had a very suggestive nature to them, but Sappho promised that it was never anything more than simple roleplay. This was a lie. One user who was involved in these therapy sessions claimed that Sappho said a few times that her therapy sessions have gone into inappropriate situations, and things got worse because she created a Discord server. The server was intended as a place to meet fellow furries and connect with each other, but as time went on, Sappho slowly revealed her true self. She posted pictures of animal-shaped adult toys.
Dog-shaped.
She even created an artwork channel made specifically for inappropriate pictures of animals. It became clear what Sappho really was, a zoophile. So what is a zoophile? Well, lucky for you, Sappho made a video about it.
I do not have a thing for humans. I am more attracted to dogs like German Shepherds.
I mean, I don't have to tell you how wrong this is. The things Sappho is defending are literally illegal around the world. But these people still exist. There's even a podcast dedicated to this stuff and even giving tips on how to commit these acts. And Sappho wasn't just revealing herself, she was recruiting others. But some fought back. People came forward talking about their experiences with Sappho, how she had manipulated them into believing her sick ideas and influenced them to act upon them. Sappho had trapped so many kids into her fan base, and she was also grooming them. Just listen to what she has to say about children.
Child still does not have the mental capacity to go through with safely.
Okay, so that very last part I disagree with.
She is crazy. Eventually, all of Sappho's social media accounts were taken down, including her Discord. But this still wasn't the end of her story. Sappho created a website. The website was an obituary written by Sappho herself about herself. She called herself a symbol for zoos and maps. And I'm not even gonna begin to explain what that means. Later, she created various YouTube community posts updating her audience on her situation. She claimed that she was being enrolled into long-time psychiatric care for her delusions. If any of this is true or not, no one can know for sure, but I don't doubt it. In the final post she's made as of writing this video, she says that she's finally gonna stay off social media, but it's the last part that scares me. In the final line, she jokes about a thumbnail on a video about her and still signs her name as Mama Sappho. And after all she's done, she still doesn't think she's wrong. Discord is filled with messed up people, but it's also a place where you can grow lifelong friendships. But the internet is written in pen, not pencil. Read that again. So be careful what you post because you never know who's gonna see it. Visual Venture. Wait, before you go, click here to watch my documentary on the disturbing truth about Discord. Because our goal is 100,000 subscribers by the end of 2022, so the algorithm needs to know that you guys watch all of my videos. I love you all. Peace.
Police say that Telegram is quickly becoming another go-to app for dealers.
You're just stealing money from my account?
Thousands of men are going to see this victim's home address, her full government name, all of her details, her work address, everything.
Do not use Telegram, the messenger, at all.
With 700 million active monthly users, Telegram is arguably one of the most popular messaging apps ever made. But if you thought this was just another WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger, you're wrong. Because below the surface, Telegram is a thriving ecosystem of underground crime filled with secrets that you might be too scared to even uncover. We'll start off with the lighter stuff, but stay till the end because I'm going to talk about some of the darkest things Telegram is used for. My name is Visual Venture. I hope you guys have a wonderful week ahead. The perfect app for criminals. Telegram enforces a privacy-first policy, allowing the app to become a network for large-scale criminal organizations. But it's not just the major crime groups that benefit. There are some solo users that have made it to the big leagues using the app, like Yogesh Meena, the student-turned-criminal entrepreneur. In March of 2024, Yogesh's jaw-dropping story hit the public. The 21-year-old was arrested for his association with over 50 cases of cyber fraud within the last year. But that was nothing compared to the rest of the news. Turns out, Yogesh wasn't just an expert in cybercrime. He was a mentor. He had been teaching over 500 young students in India from villages in the Bundi and Svai Madhopur districts the art of cyber fraud. These classes lasted for hours, with Yogesh's lesson content hidden within Telegram's encrypted servers. To criminals like Yogesh, this sort of encryption is invaluable. That's because it makes it harder for others to gain access to their conversations and safer for them to talk about illegal activity more openly. Telegram has features like pin-protected chat rooms or disappearing messages that get deleted automatically after certain periods, all making it much more difficult for police to access crucial information for their investigations. Even Telegram, the company itself, can rarely access actual messages within these group chats because of the platform's impressive end-to-end encryption. And the encryption doesn't only protect direct messages. Telegram users can also make private group chats, making the app a popular place for digital crime groups like gangs and syndicates. This allowed for Yogesh to coordinate with his students and help set up major fraud schemes with potential targets. The plan involved the students pretending to be stock investors and sending large numbers of fake stock offers to people to deceive them into investing their money. To Yogesh's students, this was a walk in the park because on Telegram, users are known to keep personal information to a minimum. This means not having a profile picture, a name, or any actual information about yourself, which makes it super easy to remain anonymous. On top of these privacy barriers, Telegram's search tool makes it easy for users to find groups they like. This helped Yogesh's students find people to target and encourage other users to join them in their life of cybercrime. Today, Telegram is a paradise for the worst kinds of people. But what exactly are the crimes they commit? Punchmade Dev, the influencer scammer. Scams are extremely common on Telegram because of just how private the app is. But scammers don't just focus on their victims. They also sell easy-to-use phishing kits to help others start scamming. Phishing is when scammers trick people into giving away personal information like bank details. They do this by making fake links that look real. When someone clicks on these links, their information is stolen. Phishing kits make scamming easier by bundling software, scripts, and templates so even people with no tech skills can scam others. There are also other criminal tools on Telegram that let people access private information with just one click.
It'll say, what service, right? There's already scripts written up for me. I paid an Indian 10 bands and he programmed it for me.
What the? Wait.
Oh, look, PayPal. Now it says, who are we spoofing? Aiden Ross.
What the?
So we gonna spoof Aiden Ross.
That video was recorded by Punchmade Dev, a YouTuber and musician who has allegedly made a fortune teaching people how to scam others with his online courses. His primary platform, Telegram. In just a few seconds, Punchmade Dev was able to get the personal information and phone number of the famous content creator Aiden Ross simply by typing his name into an automated bot service. How did he do it? Punchmade Dev hired an engineer to program a bot for him that can conduct a wide range of scams. He specifically asked the bot to spoof as Aiden Ross. Spoofing means disguising yourself as someone else to gain the trust of your victims. Punchmade Dev used Aiden Ross's stolen identity to scam his followers. Aiden reacted to the video on his Kick channel with over 1.2 million followers, and the video blew up on the internet. Although Aiden warned his viewers not to follow Punchmade Dev's footsteps, Punchmade Dev made the entire scam look like a piece of cake, making it much more enticing for people to try it out themselves. After that demonstration video, Punchmade Dev allegedly attempted to buy a TV using Aiden's payment information that he got illegally.
So now I'm about to walk to the store and Aiden's gonna donate me a TV.
Bro, so you're telling me right now, where did you get that money from? Am I out of my PayPal?
Something like that.
And this is the sort of stuff that PunchMadeDev does on the daily. He's become a successful social media personality for his rich and lavish lifestyle as a cyber criminal. He has over 200,000 subscribers on YouTube where he creates rap songs talking about his internet scams in detail. He's got songs like How to Write a Dump, Scam Brothers, and $1 Million Criminal, which all have millions of views bragging about the money he's stolen. But PunchMadeDev doesn't just show off his success, he also tries to teach his followers.
But if we look here, it says click here to learn. Then takes us over to his Telegram chat where Dev is claiming to have a Cash App glitch that you can essentially buy from him and he will send you the steps on how to do it yourself.
PunchMadeDev made multiple tutorials on how to commit financial crimes via Telegram and other platforms. But recently, he took things up a notch by creating an online shop selling stolen credit cards, PayPal accounts, and other counterfeit items. PunchMadeDev might be a notable figure in Telegram crimes, but he's just one of the many scammers who have found a home on the platform. Telegram is also widely used for crypto scams. An infamous example was the crypto scam involving popular alt crypto Shiba Inu, where scammers contacted countless people with fake links to purchase other cryptocurrencies. These scammers targeted those within the Shiba Inu coin community because many of the Shiba Inu investors lost a ton of money after the coin was hyped up on social media. But like many other crypto coins, the hype soon died down, and the price dropped rapidly. This caused a ton of rookie investors to lose out on thousands of dollars with no real hope of getting that money back since the coin now lost its popularity. Scammers were well aware that these investors were looking to make back the money that they lost, which is why they were the perfect victims. They would approach these people with proposals for other investments that promised insane returns. However, the links that they sent were phishing links meant to steal their personal information. On the other end of the spectrum, there's also full-on pyramid schemes for crypto scammers. Toncoin is one of the biggest crypto scams on Telegram today. The premise of Toncoin is simple. Invest your money, buy boosters that can earn you more money, and invite your friends to make a commission on their investments. Your standard pyramid scheme. The scam requires all victims to register for a crypto wallet using a specific Telegram bot, which records every user's personal information. From there, victims have to purchase Toncoins. The more they buy, the more commission they make. And to incentivize victims to keep digging themselves into a deeper hole, the scammers will promise even more money if they buy booster packs or invite their friends to join the program. Needless to say, none of these victims ever saw any money. All of those glorious commissions that they promised, they're not real. These schemes are meant for you to throw money at scammers who will never actually give you any of it back. This is all too common on Telegram. Some unsuspecting people have lost thousands of dollars in these investment opportunities. In Delhi, India, there was a man who was invited to a Telegram group chat filled with who he thought were aspiring investors like he was, when in reality, they were nothing more than a group of scammers. The scammers worked together to convince him that there was a profitable investment opportunity waiting for him. At first, he was asked to put down a deposit of 120 in their local currency, which he did. Immediately, he got 180 in return, which is $60 more than he originally put down. That was enough to convince him that this was all legit, so he kept depositing more cash. And this is exactly how the scammers get you, because the man received even more money than what he had given them. He had a reason to believe that this was legit, so he ended up giving the scammers an additional $15,000 in hopes of becoming rich. But once the money was received, things took a terrible turn, because not only was he not getting his money back, but the scammers were now off the grid. They immediately ghosted him and left him with no leads on reporting them for their crimes. But scammers don't only prey on those who are desperate financially, they also prey on those who are desperate for love. There's a scam from Vietnam that targeted men, specifically lonely men. The Telegram group chat called Beauty Heaven was marketed as a sanctuary for men looking for love. Many joined the chat room in hopes of entering in casual relationships with women. A Vietnamese man from Nha An province was one of these men, but what he didn't realize before joining was that talking to these women wouldn't be an easy task. He wanted to find himself a hookup, but before he could actually get chatting with any girls, the group chat admin said that he had to do a series series of missions to get VIP membership. This membership was supposed to guarantee him discounted services while having fun with the beauties. And without it, he wouldn't even be able to talk with any of them. The more missions you complete, the better tier your VIP memberships got. But there was one catch. It said that after each completed mission, he had to send them certain fees to claim his rewards. And the higher the tier, the higher the fee. At first, he would make his money back and then some, but he still didn't get what he came for, to talk to any of the girls. But he kept doing the missions anyway, eventually giving the group chat admins over 560 million Vietnamese dong, which is around 22,000 US dollars. Eventually, the man realized this was a scam and asked for his money back. But all they did was just ask him for more instead before eventually cutting contact altogether. But while scammers take advantage of those who are vulnerable, other criminals even recruit them to become criminals too, tricking innocent people into crime. For criminals, Telegram's search feature isn't just useful for finding victims, it's also a powerful tool for finding recruits. Any legitimate criminal organization has a hierarchy, with the bosses at the top and the workers at the bottom. And with so many people on the internet eager to make some quick cash, that opens up a huge talent pool for potential new criminals. And a lot of times, this illegal work is disguised as fake job postings promising high salaries and a ton of benefits. Then, when they actually start working, they realize that this isn't what they signed up for, but instead it's something much darker. The most common form of illegal employment is fraud. In 2021, US banks reported almost 250,000 cases of check fraud, and in 2022, that number almost doubled to around 460,000. And the reason that check fraud has become much more widely accessible is because of apps like Telegram that let criminals easily find people who would do their dirty work. Check fraud is when people find checks, make a counterfeit copy of the original, and then change the information on the actual check, like who it's addressed to, so that they can deposit the money into their own bank accounts instead. But even though the information's been changed, the check still needs to be physically deposited at a bank. And that's where the rookie recruits from Telegram come into play. Many check fraudsters find people to cash in these checks via Telegram, promising them quick cash in return. All these people have to do is just walk into their local bank and deposit a check into a certain bank account. After that, the gangs take care of the rest, and the rookies get a portion of the money. Relatively low risk if they keep a low profile. And for someone like Nikidra Shannon, it's even lower risk, because during the day, she's a postal service worker. She'd been working at a processing center in Charlotte, North Carolina for a year and a half before she realized there was a much more profitable opportunity in front of her, which means that she has easy access to checks that are being mailed from all around the world. From April to July of 2023, Nikidra would pocket checks that she found in the mail. When she got off work, she would send these checks to her two co-conspirators, Donnell Garnder and Desiree Carter. Desiree was the founder of a crime Telegram channel called the OG Glass House, which became an esteemed marketplace for purchasing and selling illegally obtained checks. Using the alias Swiper, the three of them would coordinate the selling of all the checks that Nikidra got from work. Together, they were able to steal an estimated $24 million worth of checks. Criminals from all around the world have discovered the value in these schemes, making it a part of their day-to-day operations. In Japan, there's a big demand for these types of employees. In fact, it's such a big thing that there's a special term for it, yami baito. This refers to the Japanese black market filled with shady jobs and even shadier employers. The yami baito jobs seem like a dream come true to the average person. Although it's high risk, it's high reward, and you never even have to interact face-to-face with your boss. To many, this is the ideal scenario. Risa Yamada was your average 27-year-old woman. Like many others, Risa was struggling to find consistent income. Growing up in a single-parent household and being stuck between jobs, Risa was desperate for some sort of financial security, which is how she stumbled upon an interesting Yami Baito advertisement on X. The job seemed simple. Use your charm and wit to convince the elderly to hand over their money. So that's what she did. She would fraud the Japanese elderly out of hundreds and thousands of dollars by impersonating a police officer. But this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to cybercriminals criminals in Japan, because cases like Riza's are common. Every day, thousands of new employees sign up for Yami Baito jobs without understanding the consequences because they don't see any risk. But the reality is that there's never a crime without a victim, and the infamous Luffy gang proved that. The Luffy gang was a group of Japanese criminals with its 4 ringleaders based out of the Philippines. These criminals were locked up after their confirmed involvement with a series of scam crimes in the Philippines in late 2019. These scams cost Japanese nationals over 2 billion yen, equivalent to almost 13 million US dollars. In total, 36 Japanese criminals were thrown into a Filipino jail, including the 4 ringleaders. But even after their arrests, they didn't give up their life of crime. Instead, they chose to start a new group and continue their crime sprees from jail. The mastermind behind the group, an unnamed criminal named Luffy, based on the popular One Piece protagonist. Using Telegram, the Luffy gang was able to recruit and coordinate with hired accomplices in Japan who helped them carry out countless robberies throughout their jail sentence. The Luffy gang is reported to have committed over 50 robberies in 14 different prefectures in Japan since it was formed. Their process was simple. Step 1, post an enticing ad on social media platforms like X or Instagram. These would be titled dark part-time jobs, with each listing promising a ton of money. Step 2, contact all the potential recruits and add them on Telegram. From there, take advantage of the app's encrypted DMs to give them tasks to do. The most common task was asking hires to pose as police officers or financial service agents. Once the accomplices take on this fake role, they contact the victims, which are usually elderly couples, single women, or other vulnerable groups. They tell the victims that their bank accounts have been compromised and that they needed to schedule a visit to talk things out and solve the problem. But when they arrived at their house, the act was dropped. The gang members would steal ATM cards and other bank documents from their victims, then withdraw all the money to send to their bosses, keeping a portion for themselves. It said the drivers were paid around 6,150 US dollars, while robbers were paid $6,500. And that's for only one completed robbery. But this gang's crimes got even worse. On February of 2024, 4 men in Japan were carrying out the demands of their Luffy gang bosses, but things went terribly wrong. The woman refused to hand over her belongings and her cards, so the Luffy gang members escalated things and took them by force. The woman ended up passing away just so that these criminals could walk away with a haul of just 3 luxury watches and a diamond ring. Following the public outrage from this incident, police were able to connect this robbery and a few others back to the #1 ringleader, Luffy.
A media report says Kyoto Imamura was arrested for allegedly ordering one of many robberies reported across Japan.
If you can pay for services, you can certainly pay for goods. The black market on Telegram makes purchasing illegal items as easy as shopping on Amazon. Telegram's unsettling black market.
Police say that Telegram is quickly becoming another go-to app for dealers.
With so much encryption, it's no surprise that criminals love to use Telegram to conduct under-the-table deals. Since no one can access personal DMs, it's easier for dealers to access contraband products through the app. Telegram features a black market with thousands of listings for any item that you could imagine. Over the years, hundreds of Singaporeans have been caught for their involvement in Telegram crime rings. Just this year, 36 people were arrested in April 2024 for their involvement in the underground goods trade on Telegram. In a raid conducted by the Central Narcotics Bureau, over $19,000 in products were seized, with the main method of transactions and communication being over Telegram. One of these suspects was a 37-year-old man that had fled to Seoul to conduct most of his operations. According to South Korean news sources, this man's network was so large that it spanned all parts of Asia, with hotspots in Singapore and Vietnam. With 3 associates, all of his business was done using Telegram. How did he do it? To disguise the goods and avoid suspicion from Border Patrol, this crime lord hid and modified many of his products into various electronics and candy. That way, he was able to advertise more openly while remaining discreet. Because to anyone who isn't a regular buyer, a picture of a pack of Gushers isn't going to raise any alarms. But to those that know what the bags actually contain, they're able to get all the information they need on a public listing. According to authorities, this operation was able to earn an estimated $250 150 million won, which is roughly $193,000 US in profits alone. Charlie Garcia, on the other hand, had a one-man plan. Originally from London, 48-year-old Charlie moved to Thailand with a student visa after realizing that there was a gap in the market, the illegal goods market. Setting up his base in Chiang Mai, Charlie used Telegram to conduct his deals, selling to both locals and tourists alike. And for a while, he had it good. Customers were flowing in, and he became a reputable source for black market goods. But unfortunately, this would be short-lived. In early 2024, police officers in Chiang Mai received an anonymous tip about Charlie and his unconventional job, so they decided to go undercover and investigate. Posing as a potential customer, officers set up a meeting with Charlie at a local weed shop, pretending that they wanted to buy stronger items. After the sale was completed, the rest of the force, which were stationed outside, stormed in and arrested him. After the arrest, police conducted a search on Charlie's room, which is where they found a haul with hundreds of grams amongst other items. Even after getting caught red-handed, Charlie tried to deflect the blame, telling the police officers that he got it all from a tourist. But an investigation into his Telegram account proved that to be nothing more than a lie. For his crimes, Charlie is at risk of facing the death penalty, or at the very least, life imprisonment. So far, we've talked about Telegram's criminal underworld, but I'm telling you, none of these even come close to what's next. The market for wicked interests. Telegram is like the dark web without the need of a third-party browser. You can find the most gut-wrenching stuff on there if you know the right people or are willing to pay the right price.
Then he suggested that I create a account on Telegram, and he would get me into the group.
A private group where more extreme videos are being bought and traded.
While most of us love and adore animals, some have ulterior motives for a different kind of fascination with them, a twisted one. These individuals have found Telegram to be a gathering place for them to openly discuss their dark desires or even act them out. In 2023, the World Service exposed hundreds of customers around the world who were paying a group of Indonesians to film themselves performing certain actions on baby monkeys. This infamous crime ring first started on YouTube, but then moved to Telegram after the founders realized that there were people willing to fork up a ton of money for them to perform special requests. BBC sent several journalists to go undercover in these group chats, and what they found was shocking. There were countless people actively participating in these chats. The operation grew so large that dealers began operating not just in China, but also in the United States. Some people weren't initially interested in this business. They simply recognized a demand and realized that they could make a lot of money by connecting with the right sellers.
Every video that popped up, I clicked it, put it in a file. Why? Because every file came with a $sign to me.
Even esteemed animal experts have been exposed for their participation in these rings. In September 2023, famous Australian zoologist Adam Britton faced charges related to his treatment of animals. This news came as a huge shock to the public because Adam is a renowned crocodile specialist who was seen by most as an animal lover. But behind the scenes, he was sharing disturbing content that he filmed on Telegram. Some of these group chats had over 1,000 members in them, and there are more of them than investigators could even count. But that's not even the most horrific part of this, because these acts were also carried out on humans.
또 믿고 싶지 않았고 계속 의심을 했어요. 이게 지금 우리나라에서 2019년에 발생한 일인가?
In 2020, the entirety of South Korea was shocked to its core when news broke out about the evil Nth Room and Doctor's Room, a private Telegram cybercrime ring that had over 260,000 members. The main purpose of the Nth Room? To pressure young Korean women, film dark content of them, and then hide the videos behind hefty paywalls. Although there were thousands of members, there were two masterminds behind the whole thing: Cho Ju-bin and Moon Hyung-wook. Cho Ju-bin went by the online alias Doctor, while Moon Hyung-wook went by the name God. Together, they created a series of disturbing chat rooms to conduct their business operations. But how exactly did these two men manage to create a cybercrime ring that was this large? It all started out when God discovered a Twitter account of a girl who posted provocative photos. God then pretended to be a police officer and sent her a DM saying that her pictures had been leaked and he needed her personal information so that the police department could start an investigation information. After getting their private information, he would reveal his true identity and begin to pressure them. God would coerce these individuals into creating personal photos and videos for his profit, charging high fees to share this content in his chat rooms. Dr., on the other hand, used different tactics. He posted deceptive job listings promising high-paying part-time opportunities in fields like modeling and retail, positions that would attract young job seekers. Then he would do the same as God did, and if they didn't cooperate, there were consequences.
Thousands of men are going to see this victim's home address, her full government name, all of her details, her work address, everything.
It said that there was a confirmed number of at least 103 people who were victims of these chat rooms. But when these chat rooms hit the deadlines, although most people were disgusted, some saw this as inspiration. Chinese cybercriminals created their own version of this, employing the same tactics. Let these cases be a reminder that the internet can be a dark place, but behind every scam are people working hard to stop them. But with an overwhelming amount of content like this online, we need to step up and report it. Let's all do our part to keep each other safe, one click at a time. Visual Venture. Wait, before you go, make sure you guys click subscribe here and then click this playlist to watch more dark internet documentaries, because our goal is 700,000 subscribers by the end of 2024. Thank you guys for everything. Y'all are the best. Peace.
She didn't want people to know that she had a BBL, so she did what anyone would do in that situation. Lie and say you have sickle cell anemia.
That are untrue. So for one, she is not homeless. She has an extensive criminal history, and she has apparently abandoned her 9-year-old child.
The video blew up and is still my most popular to date, which brings us to the current issue, how AI was used to copy it and then upload it to YouTube.
The problem is an epidemic of mis- and disleading content made to scam your attention, written and read by bots created by probably nefarious individuals for monetary gain alone.
Since 2005, YouTube has been the #1 source of entertainment on the internet, from simple vlogs to massive productions. But over time, things have changed. Of course, there are still content creators that genuinely care about their content and their audience, but there's now an increasing number of YouTubers that are only in it for one thing: money. With creators being able to make millions of dollars through ads and sponsorships, this has made YouTube a cash cow for a lot of people. While being able to make money on YouTube is obviously an amazing thing, some YouTubers will do anything to bring in the dough. This means clickbaiting, stealing content, and even faking entire productions. They'll create viral content no matter the cost. My name is Visual Venture, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day ahead. The art of making fake pranks. If you're looking to get 1 million views, prank videos are a good way to do that. Since the days of prank versus prank and Vitaly, this genre of content has become one of the biggest on YouTube, which makes sense. The victims give off the best reactions when they're caught off guard, and it's entertaining to see how they react in real time.
Yo, bro, pull up your pants. Yo, let's go with you.
Although these videos tend to do well, they do come with one major problem for YouTubers. The reality is, they can't possibly predict how people will respond to the prank, and sometimes they just don't give an interesting enough reaction, which is why so many YouTubers have turned to another method to get the outcome they want: faking the pranks. There are a bunch of different ways that YouTubers can fake their prank videos. For starters, they can easily change the narrative of a video by editing it in a certain way. But arguably, the most successful way to fake these pranks is to hire actors. The popular prank channel Top Notch Idiots has been caught using this strategy at one point in their careers. With over 4 million subscribers and over 600 million total video views, Top Notch Idiots has been putting out viral prank videos since 2016. Throughout the years, whenever other prank channels were exposed for being fake, Top Notch Idiots would speak up to defend their own content. They would put out tweets that claimed that unlike the other channels in their niche, their videos were 100% genuine. After reading this tweet, YouTuber Pataclysm started to get a bit skeptical, so he decided to launch his own investigation. On March 13th, 2019, Pataclysm posted a video where he compiled all his research about Top Notch Idiots to uncover some interesting evidence.
The same woman showed up in one of their pranks, as well as Patty Mayo's Bounty Hunter series,
which is a series that was proved to use actors.
Bounty Hunter, which Pataclysm references, is a popular YouTube series by the creator Patty Mayo. Patty is a YouTuber with over 11.2 million subscribers and is most famous for his bounty hunting videos where he chases down suspects on bail. For years, people have debated whether Patty's videos were real or fake, but it wasn't until the Oregon State Sheriff's Association came out and confirmed that they were fake did people really know for sure. Since Patty's videos are scripted, seeing the same woman in both his and Top Notch Idiots videos is suspicious. Was she hired, or was it just pure coincidence? Pataclysm decided to dig deeper.
Through research, I found portfolios of an actor and an actress that accredit their roles in Top Notch Idiots videos as past experience.
Although Pataclysm wasn't able to find that specific woman on an actor registry, he did find 2 others on IMDb and Casting 360 who claimed to be part of Top Notch Idiots projects. This still wasn't enough to confirm Pataclysm's suspicions once and for all, which is why he decided to reach out to the actors directly. And sure enough, both of them allegedly confirmed that they were hired to be in the videos. By no means am I saying that all of Top Notch Idiots pranks are fake, but it doesn't deny that actors were used at some point in their careers. Fake content is rampant in the YouTube space, and industry leader Nick Compton proves that. Nick Compton was the former chief operating officer of Jake Paul's famous YouTube content group, Team 10. The group consisted of some of social media's biggest stars like Tessa Brooks, Alyssa Violet, as well as the Dobra twins, Lucas and Marcus. At one point, Team 10 was dominating the platform with over 2.5 million subscribers and hundreds of millions of views. But Team 10 disbanded just 4 years into their career after internal issues between the members got so intense that they split up. At the peak of the group's popularity, they were managed by Chief Operating Officer Nick Compton. He not only helped oversee the group activities, but also appeared in several videos himself. Most notably, the It's Everyday Bro music video where he rapped the iconic meme line, "England is my city."
What is that? What is that?
He did, however, step down from his role at Team 10 a year before the group officially disbanded in 2019. But while he may have left the group, his knowledge of their inner workings remained, which he ended up revealing to Shane Dawson as part of Shane's extensive 50-minute breakdown of Jake's career. The video was titled "The Enemies of Jake Paul" and was first released on October 3rd, 2018. Although Nick wasn't on screen for too long, he made one of the most shocking reveals in the entire video, which was the alleged truth behind Jake Paul and Team 10's wild viral pranks, which they became famous for.
Was some of the pranks, like the bigger, crazier pranks, were planned.
I feel like pretty much everyone that's a little bit older knows that it's all fake. It's all over!
But that wasn't all. Nick also went on to reveal that allegedly a lot of the drama between Team 10 members was also fake, or at the very least exaggerated. In the fall of 2017, the Martinez twins, who were OG Team 10 members, posted a video called The Truth, which talked about all the drama that was happening behind the scenes with Jake, Nick, and the other members. One thing that they mentioned in the video was the fact that Jake and the rest of Team 10 destroyed their room after they announced that they were leaving the group.
Goodbye, Martinez room. Woo! Ah! 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 It's every day, bro.
This video caused a lot of outrage from fans of the Martinez twins, especially after the twins expressed how sad they were about it in the video. But the truth behind this was that the twins weren't upset at all. Allegedly, they knew about it and were in on it from the get-go.
They did know. It wasn't even a room, it was a fake room that we built. We made them a fake room in the living room and then destroyed it.
You built it to destroy it, basically.
Yeah.
Some say that faking videos here and there is part of the YouTube game, but some YouTubers fake everything, that their entire life turns into a lie. Faking lifestyles for clout. As a lifestyle YouTuber, people watch you for one thing and one thing only, your lifestyle, especially if you're a vlogger. A lot of the time, people want to watch someone show off a lifestyle that they only dream of having. That means a luxurious lifestyle filled with expensive items, constant traveling, and lavish experiences. But to have such an extravagant life, you need to be at the top, and that's a hard thing to achieve. So the easiest way to get there? Faking it until you make it. This is exactly what this famous Korean influencer did. did. Songjia, also known by her YouTube username Freesia, is a content creator that became an internet sensation overnight. She appeared on Netflix's hit Korean dating show Singles Inferno, where she soon became a fan favorite for her confidence, charm, and class. During her time on the show, Jia was loved by both the cast and the viewers. She was constantly praised for her attractive looks and personality, which were only further highlighted by her fashionable style. Despite the show being filmed almost entirely on a hot island, Jia didn't let that restrict her fashion. In every episode, you can spot her wearing clothes from different designer brands like Chanel and Dior. Many fans soon started to associate Jia with the upper class, assuming that since she was wearing so many luxury items, she had to be rich. Through the show, Jia gained thousands of new fans that wanted to continue keeping up with her after Singles Inferno ended, so they flooded her social media channels with countless views and likes. Prior to joining the cast of Singles Inferno, Jia was already a relatively popular YouTuber, but the dating show shot her to new heights, taking her from a normal content creator to a viral influencer globally. With so many new eyes on her, it made Jia much more vulnerable to people who wanted to tear her down. And eventually, those people found something that would put her fame to an abrupt stop. In late January 2022, just months after Singles Inferno aired, Songjia became the internet's hottest topic, and not in a good way.
Songjia was swirled into a fake controversy this week as netizens exposed her for using fake luxury products on the show and her YouTube videos numerous times.
To many of her fans, this news felt like a betrayal. Jia, who built her entire personal brand off of being a fashionable rich girl, now seemed like a liar. The controversy particularly struck hard with her South Korean and East Asian fans. They started picking apart all of her past videos, dissecting vlogs where she was in her luxury apartment or in expensive cars to question what was real and what was just a facade. Following the scandal, Jia and her management wiped hundreds of videos off of her social media profiles, leaving up only this apology video.
최근 논란이 되고 있는 가품 사용에 대해 인정하며 모든 것을 제 잘못임을 인정합니다. 유튜브를 하고 있는 사람으로서 모든 행동에 신중하고 조심했어야 하는데.
Immediately after this video went live, Jia went off-grid to hide from the backlash. She ended up leaving the internet for months before returning after the incident was buried under newer social media controversies. Since her return to YouTube and content creation, her popularity has slowly climbed back to what it was before. Faking wealth is just one side, but pretending to be broke could possibly be even worse.
My name is Ariana, and I am homeless.
On July 23rd, 2022, Ariana posted her first video on her channel, All In with Ari, which at the time was a lot smaller than the 70,000 plus subscriber base that it has now. The video quickly blew up, getting over 2.2 million views in its first 3 months of release. The reason? Everyone wanted to hear the story of how this 32-year-old woman managed to become homeless and maybe even help her get back on her feet. Ari had the typical homeless story. She had a falling out with her family and had no one to turn to. And the constant inflation and never improving economy caused her to completely lose her financial freedom and made her lose everything. But unlike many others in the same boat, Ariana did at least have a job. She just couldn't afford a place to live in the expensive state of California where she resides. It didn't take long for Ariana to build a community of loyal subscribers that wanted to help her out as best they could, with some even offering to send her money or offer her a place to stay. Ari eventually ended up making so much money from YouTube ad revenue, her Patreon, and affiliate marketing links that she filmed her purchase of a new van from Mercedes-Benz to live in. But like with any internet sob story, Ari was met with almost as many skeptics as she had supporters. There were people that were quick to question whether or not she was truly homeless or if she was just doing this for clout. The interesting part is that it didn't take an outside person to expose Ari. She did it herself by contradicting her own words.
So she states that she moved to LA and left everything behind in Arkansas that wasn't important to her. Also in this video, she states that when she first moved out to LA, that she stayed with family, and even though it wasn't the best fit, she chose to be homeless and live in her car.
Ari openly admitted in her video that she wasn't homeless due to consequence, but rather by choice. She decided to live in her car because she didn't want to be with her family, even though the option to live in a real home is available to her. With every episode, Ari's story got messier and messier, and soon she created such a complex web of lies that she couldn't keep track of, which made it easy for Scott Schaefer to figure out the truth.
So for one, she is not homeless. She has an extensive criminal history, and she has apparently abandoned her 9-year-old child.
During one of Ari's videos, Ari talked about how she had to pack up her things and leave Arkansas to get away from an abusive ex-partner. But Scott began to point out some inconsistencies with what she was saying.
She talks about exactly where she is living in Ventura, and now she's living in LA County. She talks about exactly where she is living. If she was trying to get away from an abusive person like she claims in this video, why would she put all this out here that this guy can very easily find where she lives now?
His investigation found out that she lied about her entire identity.
This is her. I'm not doxing her. This is all public information. Anyone can look this up. But her real name is Ronnie Ann Spur.
According to her criminal record, Ari, aka Ronnie, has charges for theft of property as well as failure to show up in court. To dive even deeper into his investigation, Scott found evidence that Ari had a dark past that she's never mentioned.
The defendant got into an altercation with her mother and was forced to leave their home. You can see that the father is actually claiming that the mother, Ronnie, or Ari, has actually been hospitalized for mental issues in the past.
Due to her mistreatment of her child, Ronnie ended up losing the custody battle between her and the father. With Ari's true self coming to light, many people stopped supporting her, and she has since discontinued her video uploads. Some people don't just fake finances. Other YouTubers are willing to lie about serious medical conditions to get your click. The epidemic of fake illnesses. Fake illnesses has become a growing trend on social media as people realize they can build a successful career by garnering sympathy. Yet, the public eventually figures out who's really sick and who's just seeking views. Daisy Marquez is a well-known beauty and fashion influencer with over 1.5 million subscribers on YouTube. And like most content creators, she fell into the habit of uploading pretty consistently. But when Daisy suddenly had to take a break from making videos, instead of telling her fans the truth, she decided to make up a sadder, more socially acceptable story.
After that, he was like, you're gonna have to get a blood transfusion because of the sickle cell anemia. And I was like, oh, okay.
Ever since the release of that video a few years ago, Daisy had continued the act on not just her YouTube, but other social channels. She consistently explained that her sickle cell anemia is the reason why she's constantly sick or taking breaks. After a falling out, one of Daisy's former friends left a lengthy comment on Instagram exposing an unnamed individual for faking sickle cell anemia. Considering that she was tied to Daisy for a long time, many people started to connect the dots.
Y'all, I literally used to have a friend who used to lie 24/7 and even lied about having sickle cell anemia, and that was a reason she was MIA for a while, but she really got a BBL, a Brazilian lick.
But even with this comment, no one could confirm whether or not it was the truth. When two friends cut each other off, there could be hostility, and for all anyone knows, they could have just been saying this to make Daisy look bad. It took a few years, but Daisy eventually spoke on these accusations. During an episode of her podcast, Daisy Diaries, she actually came clean. She tells her viewers that her sickle cell anemia diagnosis from 2018 was a lie. Although it's unconfirmed the actual reason behind her admitting to this, some on the internet speculate that it's because of her sister Destiny. Daisy and Destiny have been engaged in an online feud for a while now, and Destiny allegedly threatened to expose Daisy after the YouTuber had released a video revealing private information about her. In response, Daisy and her legal team actually sent Destiny a cease and desist letter requesting for her to cease all defamatory statements against Daisy.
People are saying that the only reason that she's coming out and admitting this is because she's scared that her sister is going to expose her.
It's clear that there's no limit to how far some of these creators are willing to go to get what they want. In fact, some of them have even started to use certain tools to help them reach their goals too. AI. AI is stealing our videos. The topic of AI may be controversial, but you can't deny the benefits of it. With the use of AI tools, you're able to get more output for less work. And when it comes to YouTube, that's no exception. AI tools have helped countless content creators increase not just the quantity of their videos, but also the quality. I personally use ChatGPT all the time to help me with things like business taxes and even refining YouTube video ideas. But on the other side of the coin, AI has also helped wannabe creators not only make videos, but also steal them.
The video blew up, and is still my most popular to date, which brings us to the current issue, how AI was used to copy it and then upload it to YouTube.
Abisoft opened an entirely new can of worms when he uploaded this video titled "Exposing a Content Thief Stealing Videos with AI." This video talks about how his most popular video with over 2.2 million views was straight up copied and pasted to another channel, but with the use of AI. His original video titled "Why the Biggest Cheater in Mario Kart 64 Wasn't Caught" was uploaded 3 years ago on March 10th, 2021. But just a few months ago, in September of 2023, another video with almost the exact same title and a similar thumbnail was posted to a channel called Warpless. But it wasn't only the title and thumbnail that was copied, his entire video's contents were too. Upon clicking the video, Abisoft found that the other video script was just like his, except reworded slightly.
Right away, you can see that something smells very fishy. The sentences have the same structure, but the last part of the sentence is very revealing, as the AI video asked the viewer to engage in the same game as I did.
The easiest way to identify that an AI tool has been used in this case is the fact that the copycat video keeps the same exact content as the original, just using synonyms. None of the actual content is changed at all. But Abisoft keeps going and finds even more evidence that his video has been straight up ripped off of this AI content thief.
It takes the first half of the section and reverses the order of the difficulties I listed while altering the words used, but the second half of the sentence is incredibly similar.
Abisoft's case is not an exception. It's the norm in today's YouTube meta.
I watched through it and it was basically the same video, but it was different. The visuals were all crappy stock footage, the writing was stilted, and it felt like he was just reading Wikipedia.
In fact, I have a couple YouTube friends who are going through the same thing, but even their voices are being AI'd. It's crazy. But aside from copying original content, there's also another category of AI-generated videos on YouTube that's extremely damaging. Ones that spread misinformation due to poorly done AI-dependent research.
The problem is an epidemic of mis- and misleading content made to scam your attention, written and read by bots created by probably nefarious individuals for monetary gain alone.
Renowned science YouTuber Kyle Hill touched on an issue that's been plaguing the science community on the platform for the past few months: the sudden influx of AI-generated content. Putting the whole lack of human effort thing aside, the main issue that he brought up was that these videos are not well researched. In fact, because a majority of these new AI cash cow channels are focused on only making money, they don't really care about the content that they put out. They don't care if their videos are based on facts or just made up. As long as it gets the views, they'll keep putting out these videos.
It's words and phrases and images that technically go together just enough to be palatable, but it's you know?
This phenomenon of AI-generated cash cow content has two major problems. For starters, it completely stifles the creativity that's allowed to thrive on YouTube. If this becomes the new norm, it pushes out other creators that are focused on creating high-quality original videos, because these videos take only hours, if not minutes, to make. And these channels can make not just daily uploads, but upwards of 3 uploads a day. No actual human creator can keep up with the rate at which AI can produce content, which is not only demoralizing but also exhausting to keep up with. I mean, I literally spend almost 12 hours a day, 7 days a week just to finish one video every 2 weeks for you guys. The second major issue is that these videos are practically nonsensical. The facts that are being claimed are only verified by AI, which at this point in time isn't completely accurate. There's still many instances where AI can get their information wrong, and if that's the only source these channels are going off of, then they can be putting out misinformation. All this, of course, is concerning, but probably the worst thing about the rise of fake videos is what's next: the disturbing rise of deepfakes. When you're trying to sell someone something, you need to think of out-of-the-box methods to lock them in as customers, which is why many companies nowadays have started to use YouTubers to do it, but not just in the way that you're thinking.
Watching this video, you're one of the 10,000 lucky people who'll get an iPhone 15 Pro for just $2. I'm Mr. Beast, and I'm doing the world's largest iPhone 15 giveaway. Click the link below to claim yours now.
With deepfake ads, companies get the benefits of having famous ambassadors without the cost. Big YouTubers like Mr. Beast are the main victims of this.
We now have the ability to make people look like other people. Like, I could be Johnny, or I could be Nick the studio manager. Look, I'm Nick the studio manager right now. I could also be Tom the music composer.
But not only is this a problem to the person whose likeness has been stolen, it's also a problem to anyone who can possibly fall for these. Companies like to use figures like Mr. Beast to try and trick people into clicking their ads. Not to mention, there's a possibility that these links in the ads don't lead to product pages, but are phishing links designed to steal your information. Deepfake ads are running rampant on social media, particularly on YouTube. And the worst part is that there isn't much anyone can do to stop it. Laws have not kept pace with the rapid advancement of AI, meaning that legal repercussions are low, especially for any creator that may not have the same publicity platform or funding as Mr. Beast does to hire a legal team. But not only can you find deepfake influencers on YouTube, you can find hundreds of videos advertising websites and apps where you can make your own deepfakes. In April of 2024, Google had to remove 11 channels with over 120 videos advertising deepfake platforms with the most disgusting promotional tactics. To get people to download their app, these companies were going on YouTube and explaining that their app could remove the clothes of any woman that you had a picture of. One of the channels, which in itself was ironically AI generated, promoted a Telegram bot that could undress women in seconds. This app had over 500,000 downloads before being taken down. Other apps in similar categories had over 10 million downloads. YouTube seems to be working hard to regulate AI-generated content, but reviews from YouTube staff simply can't happen as quickly as AI can create. So I encourage you guys to stay alert. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. Challenge the narrative, do your research, and you might discover that the truth is much deeper than what's on the surface. Visual Venture. Wait, before you go, make sure you guys click subscribe here and then click this playlist to watch more dark internet documentaries, because our goal is 700,000 subscribers by the end of 2024. Thank you guys for everything. Peace.